Hi, this is Amelia and Elizabeth, and you are here with Twinmusix. We are here with Graven. Thank you for having this interview with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on. How are you ladies doing?
So, can you tell us about your radio show?
It's actually awesome that we are doing this interview today because I've reformatted my radio shows. I've actually gotten a new time with the reformatting. Initially, I was running. I picked up an extra 3 hours, which is on Tuesday mornings, Eastern Standard Time, 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. on Tuesdays. And speaking, when it comes to that time, it doesn't matter if you're in the UK, it doesn't matter if you're in Australia, South Africa, wherever. It doesn't matter if you're in the fucking United States. 12 a.m. to 3 a.m., no matter what time zone it is, nobody is awake. And
Right.
if they are waking up, they don't want to hear. So during an XRP team meeting, my boss, Tish Shearer, he had some spots open up, and I wasn't happy with the ratings that I was getting and all that because, I mean, that time just sucks.
Yeah.
So I found out that there was Wednesdays, 8 to 10 p.m. I went ahead and jumped on it, and I took it. I'm also an associate of Inner Demon Records. And It just so happens that the owner, the writer of Inner Demon Records, on Wednesdays is 6 to 8, and then I'm 8 to 10. And
Nice.
what I do on Wednesdays, it's called GRAVEN'S Metal Vault, Metal Matriarchs. So with that, what I do is I'm a fan of female-fronted metal bands. I don't believe that female-fronted metal bands get enough recognition. They're few and far between. We got OTEP, we've got In This Moment, we've got Hellstorm, but how many bands, how many nationally signed bands do you know that actually have a female-fronted band as opposed to all of us dudes that are out there on the front line going, all that shit. So female bands do not get enough recognition. So I've taken Wednesday nights from 8 to 10,
Yeah.
EST, and I've made it GRAVEN'S Metal Vault, Metal Matriarchs. And it's 2 solid hours dedicated to female-fronted bands. Now, on Sundays, what I do is I have separated those into a double feature hour. And what that means is I'll look down a list of the damn near 100 bands that I work with, and I find a band that has enough tracks to be able to fill a solid hour. And I take into consideration the time that we're going to be talking and everything else. For the first hour, I choose a band, and I go ahead, I let them know that, hey, do you want to do this? And I book them probably about a week or two in advance. And they say, well, what does it entail? I say, it entails we're going to be discussing your album, and you're going to co-host with me.
Yeah.
And sometimes we got to work out details, but they're like, hell yeah, man, let's jump on board, let's do this. Then the second hour is the same thing. So Sundays are just GRAVEN'S Metal Vault from 9 to 11, and those I normally co-host with a band that I have booked to co-host with me. And then we've already talked about Wednesdays. So on Thursdays, what I do is it's just GRAVEN'S Metal Vault again from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I play a little bit of everything for everybody. It literally consists of bands such as Helios out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They've got this really strong Iron Maiden feel. So, and there's also Storm Razor. Joey Saturn, what's up, brother? He actually just recorded me some plugs to go ahead and put on my show, but Storm Razor, they've got a Judas Priest feel. And he's got the look and everything else, I came across them on Facebook, and I was like, holy shit, that's Judas Priest.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just the style is the feel. So Helios would be Iron Maiden style. Stormraiser would be Judas Priest style. It goes anywhere from that all the way up to death metal, such as Stillborn Condition, which I love and I work closely with, all the way to my favorite band out of Chicago, Illinois, called Her Worst Nightmare. And it's thrash death metalcore. It's just so in your face, and it will melt your skin away.
So how can these bands get in contact with you who want you to do an interview with them?
They can look up my Facebook page, my show's Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Graven's Metal Vault, or they can just come straight to my personal page, which is Graven McCain, GRAVEN. McCain is MKKAIN. Or they can find me on Twitch, which is under Les Bets, LESB as in boy, ETZ. Or they can find me on YouTube under Graven McCain.
Awesome. So are we only doing metal, or can metal and rock also contact you, or what genres would you like to contact you?
The genres that I normally specifically try to steer towards are anywhere from 90s metal, such as Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, all the way up to the shit that makes the shit that goes just death metal, thrash metal, but also at the same time having to add a little bit for everybody. I do welcome some melodic metal. When it comes to melodic metal, though, I would actually have to take a deeper look at those because I'm very picky on who I put on my shows. And I have to do that courtesy of my boss, Tiz, at XRP Radio, because he gave me a mission for my show, and that's a mission that I intend to try to stick to. If it comes to, rock as light as radio rock, I won't fuck with it. If it comes to melodic death metal or thrash metal, if you got the and I can't even get my voice that high, yeah, welcome, come on board, contact me. I'll do it, but it's got to be somewhere in the style of metal.
Sweet. So what's your goal for this radio show? Where do you plan to go when things open back up with it?
I personally myself, I don't plan to go anywhere because when it comes to the profession that I'm in and what XRP Radio stands for is all unsigned metal. We are an independent radio station. There's like 67 DJs all across the board on XRP. It's designed around unsigned musical talent that have yet to get their shot, have yet to get their glory in the sun. So what my purpose is to take these metal bands that are not signed. If they're signed to an independent label, that's a different story, because that's still something that's trying to get off the ground, just as I'm with Inner Demon Records, which is an independent label. And it's growing fast. It's growing big. We specialize in unsigned music. If you're signed to Sony or Pioneer or BMG, what have you, anything that is major, it's not that we can't take you on, it's that we won't, because you're already signed.
Yeah.
So what my metal station does is I take these unsigned bands and I place them, and I place them on my show that is broadcast in approximately 190 countries around the world. So when they come to the Graven's Metal Vault, and I put them on there, they go outside of their state or city limits or the United States, and they are now broadcast globally.
So what's your favorite thing about working with the independent bands?
The greatest gift that I get from being a voluntary DJ is the appreciation that I get from each and every single band. And when I go to publish the show that I'm going to do 24 hours in advance, and I name off the bands that I'm about to do, the greatest gift that I receive is that they are so appreciative. If they are able to, they will tune in. I'll give you an example. I work with a band called A Day on Earth, and that's guitar player Cody Krem. They often are not able to tune in because of their work schedules and everything else. But when they see that I've put them on there, they are so grateful. And every time a band shares that, hey, this is going on GMV on XRP, I'm going to have this person, I'm going to be playing this band. And the moment that band or a member from that band takes and shares that post and they give me their gratitude, that's what the fuck I live for. That's my pay.
So do you think you guys will do an Independence Festival with all the bands from, that you've worked with?
Good question, because I have a very great answer for that. There is actually a 2-day metal fest coming up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, that includes 3 bands that I actually work with, and those bands are Cremated Souls, Pharaoh Hound, and Luna and Sanguinem. When I first heard about it, it's called Carnival.
Okay.
When I first heard about it, I didn't realize that it was going to be a 2-day music fest.
Yeah.
And I just received all the information actually today. I realized that, holy hell, this is going to be a big fucking show. So
nice.
I went ahead and blasted it. And I mean, everybody out there in the world are looking, especially here in the States, when it comes to the Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, Ohio area, everybody's like, where are these live shows at? Well, right here's your live show. And it's at Carl's Tavern, April 27th, April 17th. And it's a 2-day music fest. And it's going to be a blast. And that's the kind of shit that I live for. Just promoting that, and I get no monetary gain from it.
So April 17th, correct?
April 17th at Carl's Tavern in New Haven, Indiana. 3 bands that I work with: Cremated Souls, Pharaoh Hound, and Luna and Sanguinem.
And last question, is there anything else you would like to say to all the bands out there and what they can do to help you and what you can do to help them?
I'm not sure that there's anything further than we have done to help each other out, but I do want to give a few band shout-outs.
Sweet.
Her Worst Nightmare, Luna and Sanguinem, Cremated Souls, this new female band that I've taken on called Dying Oath. There is the Black Hounds. There's Stillborn Condition. And that's just to name a few, and I work with about 100. Stormraiser, Gravehopper, The Lurking Corpses. Gravehopper is actually on the XRP database. There's Zombie Face. There is Akarancia Sticks, female fronted band. I've got a girl that just came to me. They're called American Made, which they will actually be on tomorrow night. The list goes on. I could just start mentioning names, and I don't want to take up that much of your time.
No, that's impressive, dude. That's awesome. I'm happy you're helping bands. So.
Oh yeah, I'm loving this. I actually took a break from practicing on the drum kit because I've got a track that I'm working on that's almost finished. Once I took a break from it, I realized what time it was. I was like, oh shit, Amelia, hey, I'm ready.
Oh yeah, tell us about your drumming.
Collaborations I'm working on. In fact, the same person I just submitted. I've been singing for 23 years, well, soon to be 23 years, and I just submitted to this person a song that I wrote about something that's very personal to me, and there has been an agreement to do a collaboration on it. So I've got some things in the works, and it's very exciting for what's coming up.
Well, we can't wait. We can't wait to hear it. I
can't wait to get it released.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get it released, so I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Well, yeah, let us know when you're allowed to. So.
Of course.
Yeah.
I will definitely let you ladies know before I go public with it. Since you have actually taken the time to call me, and I'm always stuck to do an interview, and I'm always ready and prepared for it. I just wanted to let everybody know that anything that is said by me, nothing is scripted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this interview by us was completely impromptu, and that's how I normally prefer it.
Yeah.
Any interviews I do on my show, I don't write any questions down. I just go for it, and what comes out because it's got to be true from the heart. It's got to be raw, and that's what listeners love.
Yes, they do. Awesome. Thank you so much for this interview today. We really appreciate it.
It is no problem whatsoever. I appreciate you ladies getting hold of me because I understand what, let's see if I can pronounce it correctly without looking at it. Twinmusix.com. Almost had it right. Before we get off of this interview,
yes,
may I give the listeners my normal sign-off from my radio show?
Sure.
This has been Graven fucking McCain from Graven's Metal Vault. No matter what you do, no matter how you live, if you love metal, just raise your horns and stay fucking metal!